These simple prompts will dramatically improve your next construction project. The development process from start to finish can take years, and not just because the building takes time, but because you need to complete a ton of administrative work before even starting on site. I've worked on more than £9 million worth of global, large-scale, mixed-use development, and I've successfully used AI to streamline the entire process for me. So I'm going to give you the prompts I use at each of the 9 stages of development so you can fast-track your project from start to finish. Okay, so to start, I'm going to show you how to get through the most important stage of the entire process. Imagine you've purchased your land, you've built an amazing block of apartments, you take them to the market and no one wants to buy them. That is exactly why market research and feasibility is so important, because this helps us test what to build, where to build, and whether the numbers will even make it worthwhile. And here's exactly how AI can make this light work for you. First, any LLM like ChatGPT or Grok can summarize market reports, planning policies, and demographic data into quick summaries, which will save you hours of trawling through lengthy documents. Simply upload your documents and use this prompt. This will help you quickly understand and find your target audience, because a strategy of build it and they will come doesn't work. So thanks to AI, you've quickly found out that your project is worth pursuing. Great, but how can it help us figure out how to pay for the project? Let me show you. Because now you've found the perfect plot and you figured that the project is lucrative, the last thing you want to do is find out that you can't actually afford to build it. So stage 2 is funding, and if you're in the house building industry, then PowerPoint may not be your strong point. So rather than spending on outsourcing, you can use AI to put together your pitch deck for investment. Use the prompt shown on screen now, or take a screenshot of the text and ask your AI of choice to transcribe it. AIs like Gemini are actually really good at offering feedback on presentation design. And if you're a solo developer working without a company template, it can really help to polish a presentation. All you have to do is screenshot your slide and upload it and ask for design feedback specifically around your project. This leads us on to how you can progress through buying your land without finding any surprises post-purchase. So stage 3 is of course land acquisition and due diligence, which means checking the risk before you commit. Sadly, AI isn't able to go and look at our site for us and tell us whether there are ancient artifacts buried in the ground, but maybe one day it will be. But it can read through easements and rights of way of the land, simplifying the information and finding any red flags that might be hidden in the detail. For example, you can upload any environmental or flood risk reports and use this prompt. You'll be able to quickly cross-check what it gives you to ensure it's not hallucinating. I don't advise purely relying on this, but it can act as a second pair of eyes, highlighting potential risks that you don't think of. And if something major does show up in the results, you can ask the AI to help you renegotiate on the cost and specifically what they might be valued at. Because once the land is purchased, the real work starts. Many people fail here by actually disregarding what they learned in stage 1. So next, I will show you how to ensure your project is able to get started on site quickly. At stage 4, you're focusing on getting planning approval. That means creating your first concept design and most likely subsequent versions before you can start on site. And I'll be willing to bet a lot of money that every single person watching this video has at some point sat down to write something and then just completely drawn a blank. Well, this is actually personally one of my favorite things about AI. It totally eradicates the need to stare at a blank page. You can ask AI to write the first draft of your design brief using this prompt. You can then instruct your architects knowing that your brief has taken all aspects into account, and this should seriously speed up your planning process by minimizing the oops, we forgot about that access, or the affordable housing doesn't quite stack up, or the public open spaces aren't quite right, or the max height limits haven't been met, etc, etc. All those things will get covered right from the outset. Once you have your approvals, you're ready to move to the next stage where I'll show you how you can reduce your budget before it impacts your finished project and your final margins. At stage 5, you're finalizing your design. This is where you dot the I's and cross the T's. Your design is polished and you're ready to move to the next stage. But what if there's a way to value engineer and save money without compromising on any of the quality? Here, you can ask AI to thoroughly review your design and find areas where alternative materials might work, or areas where your build might be over-engineered. I recently worked on a project where we were set to use £12 million of excess steel rebar in our foundation. Reviewing at this stage saved us a hell of a lot of money and very little design. Use the prompt on screen now and your AI will make some suggestions for cost savings that you might have otherwise missed. Of course, once again, don't just follow the results blindly. You'll need to exert some common sense before actioning the changes, if any. But it's a great way to test the robustness of your budget without spending hours and hours poring over every possible single change. Once your final design is approved, you're ready to move to the next stage where I'm going to show you how you can make your procurement decisions without suffering from buyer's remorse. We've all experienced, or at least know someone who's experienced, a nightmare situation because they hired the wrong contractor for the job. Things like where the company has liquidated midway through the project, or scaffolding that's unable to be legally removed, or not sticking to pre-agreement timeframes, or just in general, the less than desirable output. At stage 6, we're looking to hire the contractors for our project, and AI actually works as the perfect assistant during this whole process. If you start to receive bids, then AI is perfectly positioned to quickly analyze them and tell you which contractors are giving the best offer. As your bids come in, use the prompt on the screen to organize and compare them and find the holes from one to another so you get a direct apples to apples comparable. This will give you an overview so you can quickly decide whose bids to disregard and whose you should take more seriously. By this point, you've done the legwork necessary to get yourself on site. You might be thinking that AI can't possibly help you at this next stage, but in fact, it can. Let me show you how. Stage 7, you're physically building your project. You'll likely have a site manager reporting progress directly to you. This is a notoriously stressful part of the process where suddenly there's a lot of spinning plates in the air. To make sure that you don't miss anything flagged to you, create an AI chat specifically for grouping together these updates and producing progress reports for you to monitor and share. Producing this regularly will ensure your finger remains on the pulse throughout the entire construction phase. This will require minimum effort to manage, but maximum exposure to sight of the risks. But whilst you're managing your construction, there's another thing you need to be doing simultaneously as well. And I'm going to show you how you can easily manage spinning more than one plate at a time. Because in stage 8, you're getting ready to market your project with the intent to sell or lease or whatever your exit strategy is. You already know if there's a market for it, thanks to your previous research in section 1. And you've got a pretty good profile for your ideal customer, which means our marketing can be extremely targeted. Depending on the scale of your project and your budget, you need to decide whether to conduct your marketing in-house or out-house. If you decide to do it in-house, your AI can help you with your copywriting. You'll need to edit this to avoid all the AI tropes. Otherwise, you'll end up with a headline that says something like, houses you actually want to live in, followed by bullet point emojis, the typical kind of, hey, this has been written by AI signals. What you want to do is upload your character profiles and results from stage 1, as well as project details, and use this prompt to get your first draft. And if you decide to pay an agency or freelancer to take care of this for you, you can use a similar prompt in stage 4 and have your AI write the brief for you. You'll end up with perfectly targeted campaigns that will have people queuing around the block to buy or lease from you. And once your properties are ready to move into, there's one more thing that AI can do that will alleviate any handover headaches, regardless of whether you're holding on to the asset or not. So yes, stage 9 is handover, operations and asset management. Chances are you've experienced moving into a home and finding out that you don't know where the heating is, or where the stopcock is, or how to turn the hot water on. And if your buyers or tenants are struggling with these types of moving in frustrations, then it can lead to an unnecessarily negative review or potential damage to your reputation. This is where we use AI to build the ultimate operations pack for your customers. This is something hardly anyone in the industry is doing. It's low cost because you can even send it via email if you wanted to, but this will always have huge positive impacts. Firstly, gather your relevant information to plug into AI. That could be a list of brands, model numbers, or even things like boiler, oven, alarm system, and TVs. And if you can, also add things like the length of the warranty and the warranty details as well, because all of this additional information can be so invaluable. And this will depend on your type of build, but maintenance team names and numbers and security and recommended plumbers, electricians or handymen in the area, all of this will automatically put people at ease. Also, tell people where they can find their meters. For renters, upload their contracts too. Here's the prompt. The end result will be a comprehensive pack that will instantly make your customers feel welcomed and valued during what we all know is an incredibly stressful time. If you can be seen to be removing some of that stress, it will do wonders for your reputation. So now you know exactly how to use AI to save time and money and leave a lasting impression on your clients and customers. If you found this content useful, please hit subscribe or a new channel, and your interactions help us reach, grow, and find the right people. And if you're new to the industry and want a more detailed description of the development process, then watch this video here. Or if you're interested in how AI can become an expert in specifically your project, then watch this video here.